What's going on, everyone? It's Rifle here, and thanks for checking out this Fallout 76 nuking experiment. Previously, we tried nuking the Wendigo Cave, Hopewell Cave, aka where a Deathclaw spawns at. We also hit a Fisher site there too, and also we hit the mysterious Big Mall location. Seems like some kind of sacrificing was going down there. But yeah, all of that was pretty much a total letdown. There was some pointers out of nuking those locations. We figured out by going inside the Wendigo Cave that the feral ghouls turned into glowing ones, so that proved to us that areas that do require loading screens are still affected by the nuke, so knowing that could lead to some other possibilities. Also, we've seen that the Fisher site does close up. I know that has been some common knowledge to a lot of us, but just in case you didn't know, when you do nuke Fisher sites, they do completely close up, which is pretty cool. And lastly, we found a nice farm over here. It's actually an unmarked area located near Hopewell Cave, the pumpkin house, and the Fisher site. But yeah, as you can see, there is tons of wild corn over here. And when this place is nuked, you get a lot of aftershock stalk, which this used to be corn before there was a nuclear explosion here. But yeah, this aftershock stalk provides cobalt flux. So this kind of chain reacted on what I have been searching for. I've been searching for a good area to nuke to get plenty of flux for certain things that we do need it for. I know there's quite a bit out there that are searching for the flux. And some people in the comments recommended in the previous episode to try nuking my own camp. And I thought that was a great idea because there's a lot of people recommending me to do that seemed certain that it would work. So I went ahead and planted a bunch of crops, had help from some of my buddies. Let's just say it took quite a bit of time to be able to get as many crops as I did. And then when I got that many crops, I dropped a nuke on the area, and I made sure the area was White Spring so it wasn't a complete waste of a nuke. But yeah, it turns out the nuke doesn't mutate your crops whatsoever. That would have been nice, but they just break them and you're able to repair them, and it once again won't be mutated. It'll just be a regular old whatever you planted. But yeah, that was a great recommendation. That would have been awesome if this would have worked. Heck, we would have been loaded with flux easily. But yeah, that's not the case. We're gonna have to find a good area that provides plenty of flux. And let's just say I have been doing a little bit of searching since I seen from the previous episode how many of you actually wanted a good area that we can nuke that has a lot of flux to collect. So far I have checked Aaron Holt Homestead and Cobbleton Farm. I actually managed to hit both of these with one nuke by setting it off in the middle of them, and it actually got both of them. So I was able to knock two birds out with one stone. Sadly though, there wasn't that many nuked flora. Like, I didn't get that much flux from the area. I mean, I did get some obviously, but definitely not worth it to specifically nuke this location to try to get nuked flora, because you're not going to be getting that much. Also, I tried nuking the General Steakhouse location. That seemed to actually be a pretty solid area. I actually got quite a bit of nuked flora from this place, but I don't want to say quite yet this is the best location to nuke for flux, because there is still plenty of other locations out there. In case you're wondering why did I nuke this place, well, there is a farm located right by this area. Also behind the General Steakhouse, there is a lot of crops growing in the back of it, as you can see. And this alone provided a lot of flux to start off with. And then I went searching around in the field and over at Mac's farm and found plenty of crimson flux. But I don't want to say quite yet this is the best location. I am still on the hunt for a great area to nuke. Just catching you guys up on that. I just thought I wasn't going to be able to find the best location quite yet. So today I decided to switch it up a bit and go with what a lot of you were recommending me to do, and that is to see what happens if I nuke the Heart of the Swamp event. Now this was extremely tricky to do because, in case you don't know, this is a timed event in the Mire, and this can spawn at a few different locations. Let's just say I had two other people the whole time helping me hop servers to find this event. That was one of the time consuming parts. The other time consuming part was finding an event that had plenty of time remaining to be able to officially launch the nuke at it. So yes, this was tricky, and I'm not gonna lie, one of the times that I did go and launch this, when I officially was able to finally launch the nuke, it was letting me know that there was someone that recently used this, so I wasn't able to use it. I did all of that for no reason one time. It sucked. But yeah, for those of you that don't know what the Heart of the Swamp event is, it's a random event that you can find in the mire, and the heart of the swamp is what you're going to be having to take out. As you can see, it is this plant that has a tentacle coming out of it, and it will use its petals to defend itself, and when it is doing this, it'll send a horde of enemies after you. And these are strangler enemies. This is actually different from your typical, mire lurks that you run into or ghouls that you'll run into. These have vines wrapped all around them. So I'm pretty sure these enemies are being controlled from the heart of the swamp. I'm not exactly sure about the lore over this quite yet, but it's interesting to me nonetheless. Also, to be able to damage this strangler heart, that is what it's called, you're going to have to be using a melee weapon against it. And like I said, after a certain amount of time, it's going to shield itself with its petals and send a horde of enemies after you. And then eventually you have a chance at a strangler Grafton monster to appear, or a strangler Mirelurk queen to appear. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see if any of these enemies evolve, such as the strangler ghouls could possibly mutate into strangler glowing ones. Seeming how regular ghouls can mutate into glowing ones. Heck, who knows, maybe even the strangler heart could mutate into something. I don't know. I can see why the community was wanting this event specifically to be nuked. So yeah, let's go ahead and see what happens when we do nuke the heart of the swamp. That just sounds crazy.
Keycard accepted. Keypad access granted.
Okay, so when we were finally successful at launching a nuke over at the heart of the swamp, we found out that it was a complete waste of time. At least our first experience, that is what we were thinking, like, oh my gosh, really? We took this long to do this and nothing special happened? I mean, I can understand why. This really wasn't supposed to be nuked, but it's the thought that counts. Like, maybe something could have happened. And, if no one ever tried to find out, no one would have known if something did happen or not. So it's nice just to try out some things. And, well, it's safe to say it's just the same old strangler enemies, same old strangler heart, and same old strangler Grafton monster. Although it's a cool monster to fight, and also it's cool to get the strangler queen whenever you can get her. By the way, the strangler queen is the Mirelurk queen. But yeah, it's cool when those do appear and you are able to fight them. But too bad they wasn't mutated whatsoever. Not glowing or nothing like that. I guess the strangler enemies work similar as the Scorch do. They don't really mutate. But yeah, just to be safe, I'm going to go ahead and nuke this one more time to clarify if something special does happen. So, as you can see, the second nuke has officially been launched over here at the Heart of the Swamp event, and this was also not successful in the sense of making them become mutated. I guess it was successful on how the Strangler enemies don't become mutated. Also, before I completely wrap up this video, I want to let y'all know that you can get these special outfits from potentially this event, as well as any other events located around in the Mire region. They'll be rewarded to you as a completely random drop. It could take you a good 100 completions until you get one of these to drop. But yeah, the special outfits that you can get from this event, as well as once again completing any other Mire region events, are starting with my personal favorite, the traveling leather coat. And I do have the assault gas mask on that you can purchase from the Sutton train station. Also, you can get the leather coat, which is basically the traveling leather coat, except the leather coat doesn't have a backpack. And lastly, you can get the tattered field jacket from completing random Mire region events. I go over these outfits and many more in a very detailed video guide that'll pop up here on the screen. I'm out of here though, everybody. Thanks for taking the time to watch and listen, and if you found this enjoyable, consider leaving a like. That's always greatly appreciated. As always though, that's totally up to you if you want to support the series or not, but I'm out of here. Until next time, peace.